Hello, this is Rabab Alma, licensed marriage and family therapist and international life coach. I will be speaking today about parenting your adult children. Please let me know where are you contacting me or joining me from, and if you have adult children. I chose this subject because I receive a lot of questions from parents about how to deal with adult children. I wanted to first mention this disclaimer that these videos are meant for informational, for general info. They are not meant. Oh, hey, Romana, assalamu alaikum. How are you? These lives are not meant for therapy or medical help. So I wanted to uh, talk about how to parent your adult child. And let me know if you have adult children. Let me know if you have a child, a boy or a girl, they're adults, and how you deal with them. Do you find any difficulties? I am here in Houston. Hey, so you're from Houston. I didn't know that you are there. So hello to Houston and to you, Romana. So I wanted to. I have an adult child, and she is now studying in London, and I wanted to mention that it's difficult to how to navigate the relationship with your child, how to navigate the relationship when you have an adult child who's an adult, but you still look at them as your child. So how do you parent them? What kind of a relationship do you have with them? I think it's important to look at it as from a different lens. Hello, go you too. Thank you, Romana. It's always nice to see you online. So I have prepared a couple of comments here around parenting your adult child, but I wanted to hear from you. What difficulties do you have? I see that some people call me and the children are making sometimes some different choices and that they were expecting. They think that their children are growing up to be different people than the ones they were expecting them to be. And that can be challenging and sometimes can bring some guilt, some frustration, some anger to the parent. And I think it's worth looking into and understanding the differences. So we want to first look at the issue as our children, when they are adults, we want to recognize they are different. They are now adults and they are different people than us. So we want to look at them not as an extension of us. We want to look at them as they are different. They have different life, different personalities, different view, different different thinking sometimes, and that can be very challenging because you think that, okay, I raised them certain way, why they are thinking differently. And we want to understand that when we parent our children, adult children, we want to look at them as people who have different wisdom. Also, sometimes it's difficult because I remember someone told me, oh, she's just a very young girl, I'm not gonna really listen to her, and this is the attitude. But these kids, these adults, these are 22, 23, 24, when they go and apply for jobs, they are being interviewed, they are being accepted into good positions, they are being consulted with, their opinions are valid. So how come we are not really giving them the same attention? They go to work, they go to and they see that they are respected, that people are taking their opinions, but then when they come home, they are treated like children, and that frustrates them and disconnect them from their parents. So we need to understand that they deserve respect and they are not extension of us. So when we talk to our adult children, we want to talk to them with from a perspective of an insight and wisdom and respecting their opinions, and kind of like we are not critical and judging them and feel that they are, oh, you are a disappointment, this is not how I raised you. oh yeah, they're not gonna be your parenting, the way you raised them, has already taken place way before they become adults. When they become adults, now they are people on their own. They're gonna find a job, they're gonna find partners. So your parenting part is done. Now you will have a different role. You want to be a friend. You want to be more like someone who has wisdom, someone who has appeal to their mind and to their heart, and kind of like talk to them about what you think without judgment, without really being critical, and making it a safe place for them to come to you, and that you are the first person that they come to for advice and for love and for I mean, I see a lot of young adults in my practice, and they choose to. I mean, the ones that who choose to come to a counselor or a therapist. Those are they. This is a good choice because you're going to a professional. But how about the ones they don't? Where do they go? So what do they do with their emotions? What do they do with what's happening in their lives? So you wanna always have that in your mind when you talk about when you communicate with your child, with your adult child, and see what is the best action that you can take for them to stay connected with you and they still stay open with you. Do you want them to come home? Do you want that be that person that they come to you first? You want to also relinquish control. So we raise our children. Some communities, the children, even adult children, stay living with them. So in some communities, when they are 18 or 19, they just leave and move out. But in some communities, children stay in their within the household until they get married, and sometimes they even marry in the household. So how do you navigate that? And I think it's important for us to understand that we need to understand that these children are no longer children, young children. They are adult on their own, and we need to understand that they have their own views, they can be their own people, they can do whatever they want in their lives, and it's important to recognize that and give them that freedom. So let me know in the comment section what you think of that. What do you think of recognizing children as adult children are their own people, and they are entitled to the way they want to live and the way they want to enjoy their lives, and you want to sit back and watch and be that advisor, but not critical. Can you do that? Can you really accept that? So I have some suggestions here that you can follow. So when you speak with the adult children, you want to speak, but not everything you think of you want to say. I mean, you want to be careful and articulate about what you're going to say and what you're not going to say to them. You want to be able to understand that these young adults are adults. So we cannot treat them as if they were 10 and 15 or 6. They are adults. So we need to deal with them with respect. In some cultures and some communities, we don't really, it's not part of the culture. As long as you're a child, I'm going to just talk to you the way I feel like it. And we're not really, being critical to parents, but we need to understand that when we parent our children, we actually use the same model that it was used with us. It's just a program, so we don't really think that this is not working. We cannot parent our adult children like we were parented when we were younger. Some of us, even in their 40s, and the way their parents talk to them, I mean, it's still sometimes in some cases you see some disrespect. So imagine someone who's in their 40s and being disrespected by their own parent. How would they treat their adult child? It can be a critical balance, and maybe they cannot really keep themselves in check and really separate. I think we need to work on ourselves as parents to separate and to decide consciously, to make a conscious decision on how your relationship you want it to be with your adult child. And do you want it to be different than your own relationship with your parent? I did, when my daughter was younger, I wanted to parent my daughter differently. And so far, I'm grateful that I was able to parent her differently. But that was a conscious decision. It wasn't just it didn't just happen. It was conscious effort. I was it was intentional, and if you want to do something intentionally, you need to we need to invest effort and time and energy and resources. I myself went to so much therapy, and I still go to therapy. You know, when you want to be a good therapist, you want to continue to be in therapy, and I wanted to be called out on my stuff, for the lack of a better word. But I want to be called out. And when you have an adult child, they're always evolving and getting older, and there are always changes, and you always want to work on yourself. So you want to understand that, not because if you are treated poorly by your own parent, it does not excuse us to parent our children poorly. So we want to separate. If we are parented or treated poorly, even though if we are in our 40s or 30s, whatever it is, if you are being dealt with poorly by our parents for whatever reasons, that does not excuse us to deal with our own children, adult children, poorly. So we need to separate and find a balance and see how can we really strike that balance, so we can have a better relationship with our children if we don't have that relationship that we want with our parents. And this is not everyone, of course, but I'm just saying in certain cases we want to model for them how you want them to be. I cannot be deceitful and liar and expect my daughter to be truthful. So I need to model to her what I want her to be, because actions speak louder than words. So if I want her to be respectful with me, I want to be respectful with her. So I cannot speak with her disrespectfully and then I expect her to treat me with respect. I think it's supposed to be mutual. Not because I am her mother, so that gives me the right to be disrespectful and just not considerate, inconsiderate. This does not excuse me. In some cultures, at least not nowadays, maybe years back, parents are used to talk to their children in a certain way, and the children will just be quiet. They will just talk back. Time has changed, and we need to recognize that. If you talk to your children disrespectfully, expect that to happen. So we need to model to them how to treat them. Nadia is watching. Thank you, Nadia, for watching. It's a pleasure seeing you here. We want to also remember that once upon a time you were in their age. So if you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever your age is, you were 20 before, you were 25 before. How did you feel back then? How things went with you? How did people treat you? Did you like it? Did you not? So no matter what happened, even if the child leaves the house, you want to always keep the door open for communication. And you want them to, when they come and talk to you about something, it might not be the main subject or topic that they want to talk about. They will just give you some they will talk about the weather, or they will talk about, oh, my stomach hurts, but this is not actually the topic. It's not about their stomach. There's something else they need to talk about. Are you open and patient and right there with them to let them open up or not? There's something else here also. I have another note about loving them regardless their life, their life is. So if your child took a decision to live their life in a certain way, are you gonna disown them, or do you still love them regardless their choices or their lifestyle? So you need to separate. We want to separate between the person and their actions. We want to love the person, your child, unconditionally, and that means accepting them the way they are, regardless their choices. I might disagree with the choices, but I love the person. I might dislike the behaviors, but I love the person. This shouldn't change. So my love should be, I don't like to use the word should, but my love towards my daughter need to be unconditional, regardless her choices. And some choices I will agree or disagree with, and that's fine. But my relationship, our relationship with our children is primary. This is a primary relationship. Do you want to be that person that's always there regardless what they do? Because you want to be that person that they feel that they can always go back to no matter what. um, you want to be um, sometimes we parents get frustrated with their actions, or oh, I told you so. uh, you might we want to be careful, because sometimes they need to do some mistakes. Although it's hard to watch as a parent, and I can relate to that, it's hard to watch that they're going through pain, but I think it's important that they go through pain, because they need to learn from their mistakes. We cannot shield them. We will not be there for them for the rest of their lives. We're gonna go at some point, and we need to raise our children in a way that they are ready to be independent, to be on their own. They can carry their lives on their own. As harsh and as hard this can be on some people, but this is reality. This is reality. We want to raise children. They're ready to carry on with their life on their own. They can manage when there are difficulties. If there are some challenges, they are able to manage, whether you are there or not. We cannot guarantee that I will be there for a very long time. No one can guarantee their lives, how long we're gonna live. I'm not being like negative here, but this is the reality of life. No one knows how long they're gonna live. So I think it's important for us to thank you, Romana. I think it's important for us to understand that our job as parents is to launch them to be effective, successful adults. They're able to carry their lives on their own. They need to feel that they are adequate. And the sense of adequacy comes from home, when we instill in them the sense of self-worth, and they have a value regardless what they do. So my daughter is valuable to me regardless what she does or she doesn't do. If she knows that as a fact, as a solid fact, then she can go and conquer the world. And this is what we want them to leave the house with. That they can just do whatever they can or they want, because they can. But do they have this faith inside of them? Do they have this faith about their ability? And this faith comes from the way we raise them, from their sense self-worth. Do we instill that in them? Are we really installing the fact that you need to obey me and you need to be respectful? And this is way more important than anything else. I'm not against respect. I'm not against being, respectful and good to your parent. But what is the priority here? Do you accept if your child comes to you and tells you, I disagree with you, I don't like what you're doing? Do you agree with? Do you allow that space or not? If we allow that space, if we allow that our children can come to you and say, I disagree with it, I don't like this, I don't want you to do this, and you have that patience and that capacity and the flexibility to accept this kind of conversation. If they can have it with you, they can have it with anyone else. And you want that to happen. You want that to happen with you. You want to train them to be able to have difficult conversations with others, and this starts from home. If my daughter is able to come home and tell me, I really don't like what you did here. I really don't like what happened. And she, by the way, my daughter does. And it can feel uncomfortable, but it's okay. If your child is ready to confront you and tell you, and you are okay with it, regardless how you feel inside. But if you are comfortable with it and okay with it, okay, and they have that safe space, you hold space for them to do that, then they can go outside the world and really confront the world and be there, ready to express their feelings, and be strong and confront whatever is bothering them. They are not shy. They don't shy away from what they need and what to express their thoughts and opinions. They are able to assert themselves, and this is what we want them to be. You can be respectful, but at the same time assertive. We're not advocating for aggressiveness or aggression. We are advocating for being assertive. Stand up for yourself. Girls or boys, are they able to? How can I expect my daughter to be able to express herself to people when she's unable to express herself inside the house? How can we expect that? So I think this is something to think about, and think how we really deal with our children from early childhood. But I think we need to how do you confront a parent who treats their daughters differently from their sons? Oh, that's a whole big topic that I think we need to talk about in a separate segment. But there's a way. I mean, you can always confront. You can confront that respectfully, but with assertiveness. I don't think girls should be treated different than boys, and I don't think that boys can be given this opportunity to do whatever they want, and at the same time, girls should not. Why? Just because of the gender? Based on what? I think we all are accountable are equally accountable, but this goes to the culture, and there is a way. I think maybe this is a good subject, Romana, to talk about maybe another time. So thank you for suggesting this. But yeah, I think we need to empower both sons and girls, daughters and sons. They both need to be strong, assertive, able to express themselves in the house and outside the house. And it will not happen outside the house if it does not take place inside the house. We cannot expect people to, like, it's hypocrisy when I'm asking you, you obey me, be respectful, don't disagree with me, don't, and then go outside. Oh my God, now you're gonna become a leader and you're gonna be expressing yourself all over. Can we really expect that? And how can we ask someone to do that? So we need to be truthful. We need to be. This is integrity. It's about integrity. Integrity means that I act the same way on all situations, in the house and outside the house. If I am acting differently in the house than outside the house, there is something wrong with the sense of integrity here. And what am I modeling for my child? Even for the adults, because it's we learn from our surroundings. So I think this is something to look at and think about in terms of how to deal with our children. And we need to have a vision how we deal with our children from their childhood. What kind of a relationship I wanted to have with my child? And if I have that vision, like I always say, that we can really think about that from you start like Stephen Covey says, you start with the end of mind. So if I'm picturing and envisioning a very loving, friendly friendship kind of relationship with my daughter, and then I have to start that from when long time ago. And that's why I studied psychology since when she was younger, because that's actually why I studied psychology, because I wanted to have a loving, good relationship. Nabila is watching. Thank you, Nabila. Anila is watching. Thank you for joining. So I think it's important to understand how to navigate the relationship with our adult children. A big subject when the children choose their partners, and then if you don't like the partner, that's a big deal. And I see that a lot in my practice, when they pick a partner not from the same country, not from the same culture, not from the same village that we come from. That's a big deal in some communities, and we need to get past that. Do you want to lose your child? Do you want to really disagree with their choices and just become unwelcome? Or how do you deal with that? How do you handle this? And you need to really think of a sense of your priorities. And so once your priorities are set straight, then you're able to assert and discern how you're going to treat them and how you're going to go forward this relationship. But I don't think any parent want to lose their child. You did not spend your whole life raising this child to lose them at that. No matter what. Even if they went off the road for a while, they will come back. Be patient, respectful, a good listener, be loving, compassionate. They will come back. Are you ready to be that parent that is so patient, even if you disagree? I hear stories that people, their children are doing really awful stuff. I'm not really saying that children don't do sometimes awful stuff, but be loving regardless. This is your child. This is your investment. This is the person that you spend time and energy and money and love and emotions. Those are the people that are so precious. They're the most precious people on earth for you. Those are part of you. Those are your children. So are we gonna just disown them because they did this or that? Even if they did something major, even when they do something major, it's okay. We're human beings. We do stuff. We do mistakes. If you are responding, not reacting, responding to the bad behaviors with love and affection, you will get it back. They will come back. Be patient. They will come back. They will come around. Just be patient. Arguing, confrontation, yelling, screaming, name calling, pointing fingers, judgment, it doesn't work. It does not work. You will lose them. We want to capture their heart. We want to have that space in their hearts. We want them to feel that feeling, like they respect you, even if they disrespect you with words, but deep inside you want to have a space in their heart, and you want to keep that space. I don't want to lose that space. I want to have a space in my daughter's heart forever. I want her to love me. I want her to feel that she's connected with me. And this starts with me. It's my responsibility. I am the parent. In so many cultures, we think, oh, I need to sit back and she needs to call me. She needs to do this. She's not doing that. And we start complaining. What the end result? The end result is we are losing. We are losing our children. And I have parents, and in my practice, I see they don't call me. She didn't call me, so I blocked her. Really? So why are you here then? Well, no one is asking about me. So you miss them, you want them, and you block them. What's this? What? This is confusing. If they're busy, if they're not calling you, it's okay. Reach out. Try to find. You know your child. Don't you know what they like, what they don't like? Can't you be useful? Add a value. We don't want to be demanding parents. We want to be parents who are useful, who are helpful, who are loving, who are compassionate, who are there for their children. They provide love, and we know how to provide love. How is extremely important. I cannot claim that I love you without showing you love the right way, because then the person will not get it. We need to know how do we actually lose relationships. It's because of the how. The how is missing. The timing is missing. The what is missing. Do we know the what, the how, the time, the when? We don't sometimes. And that's how we lose relationships over time. If we keep repeating, if we are not getting the result that we are looking forward with our children, then take a look. We need to take a look at ourselves and see what we're doing, to start doing it differently maybe. So if you are contributing with certain input and you're going to get a certain output, and if you're not happy with the output, how about changing the input? How about adjusting it, tweaking, doing something about it? If we're gonna repeat the same thing over and over, believe me, you're gonna get the same result. I think it's important to understand how take a closer look at ourselves, and how can we improve the relationships with our children, and be loving and be supportive, and be there for them. I hope that you liked this video, and I hope that it's relevant to you or someone you know. If you like this video, please hit like and share it. Someone needs to hear that, I'm sure. Bia is watching. Thank you, Bia, for watching. Saluted is watching. Thank you. So if you like this video, please hit like, share it. I will download it on my video YouTube channel, so you can also watch it there. If you have any question, and if you have any suggestion of any topic, please feel free to let me know. I know Romana mentioned earlier the difference in treatment in some cultures between girls and daughters and sons. So I think that's a topic that is worth mentioning. Anila said, when children are adult, make sure accept them and accept their opinions. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. This is what we touched on in this live. So thank you for commenting. If you have any suggestion of any topics, please feel free to suggest and write it in the comment. I'll be more than happy to address it. I wish everyone a wonderful evening, and hit like and share, and until I talk to you next time, Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.